So there are a lot of ways how you can get out of burnout, how you can persist and win. There are a lot of things you can find on Google or any other favorite search engine of yours. Eat more veggies, get more sleep, get a dog, get into gardening. Those are general stuff. You can find that out from WebMD or any other website. We want to get into more specifics of exactly, hear from the mouth of the founders who, fix these things for themselves. And and how they got over their problems. On that note, we'll talk of a recent IPO filing that came out, Upwork. Suddenly it came out of nowhere. People were surprised, and now it's a unicorn. Well, it's not true. No unicorn, gets born overnight. And the company Upwork was actually founded in 1999. And I worked with the original founders of the company. And we talked to them.
Yeah, 20 years is not an overnight success by any stretch of imagination. What is the meaning of time and success for this type of founder? All right. So this is Biro Chet, who's the founder of Elance as well as Gupshup. And this is what he told us.
I think entrepreneurs have a very difficult relationship with time, fundamentally, because the attribute that require you to have at least a little bit of ego to go do something, right? Something impossible, something huge, and to do it quickly is also the attribute that really makes you super impatient and you want to get done everything and you operate at that pace. And ultimately, I think every founder, especially if they're young, right, on top of it, if you mix the young part, which a lot of entrepreneurs tend to be, then, there isn't even enough maturity or patience to say, look, it's just impossible. You can't rush it. Just going to take time. So then might as well sit back and enjoy the journey, because the only thing that'll change is your anxiety level, right? It's not going to change the actual pace of work.
Yeah, I mean, this is fascinating. He's right. Every founder needs to think about their relationship with time, capital T time. It's one of the ways you can persist and win against burnout, by reframing time itself. Because the lesser the time that you have, that you think you have, the more anxious you are to get it done. And the more anxious you are to get something done, you feel more pressure and you exert more energy and you essentially burn out quicker. Now, time needs to become your friend. Reset your time clock and have realistic estimates. And like Ken, you were saying, if you think you're going to take 3 years, plan for about 5 or 6, because that's how long it's going to take. And that's a way to reframe and keep yourself out of that anxiety.
So there are multiple ways. Just moving on in this, reframing time is obviously one. So we actually talked to many founders, many dozens of them before in the course of preparation for this webinar and coming up with the slides. So the 5 things that we are presenting to you are time tested and have worked for multiple of them. Obviously reframing time was one. But the other one that came up very frequently was practicing meditation. And as luck would have it, Gaurav is here for us. He's teaching yoga and meditation to a bunch of people. So Gaurav, how has this been, yoga and meditation, how has this been useful to founders in your experience?
It's a daily reset. You can actually reset your mental state. You can come back home and work with a clean mind. And that means that you're less distracted, you have more attention. And you have now learned the art of wielding your attention very calmly and carefully. In fact, we talked to our friend Sriram, who's actually on the call, and he told us something interesting about his own experience with meditation. I'm going to play that for us. So practicing meditation, this is what Sriram told us.
Many years ago, I got exposed to Autobiography of a Yogi, right, which is the book that was given out at Steve Jobs' funeral. And thankfully, I got exposed to that early on in my entrepreneurial journey, and that's been a great gift, because I don't think there is anything that even comes marginally close to what meditation, when done right, and what meditation can do for you. And a lot of successful entrepreneurs, I mean, if you look at Mark Benioff or many others, right, they're pretty committed and serious about yoga and meditation, right? So I feel that that's really the one big thing that can help you as an entrepreneur is, and I highly recommend that everybody should pick up that book. And there was a reason it was there at Steve Jobs' funeral, for him to meticulously plan that every person who came to his funeral should get that book, should tell all of us the importance of what meditation and self-realization means, right? And I think it's more important to an entrepreneur than any other profession, because the stakes are so high and the personal roller coaster is just so crazy.
This is Gaurav, shameless plug department. I have a free course it's a 21-day habit builder, 20 minutes every day on meditation. You should try it and see how that works for you. Haven't built in life. All right, next up, take your break seriously, which is why are breaks important? Ken, we talked about it. How does it benefit you as a founder, and does it solve problems for you taking a break?
Well, I think first, it's just hugely important to step away, right? To refresh your mind, to not think, because being a founder is a 24/7 job, and so you need time to just turn off, right, and let that muscle refresh itself. So, I take vacations every year. I always sneak in the week between Christmas and New Year's, because most people are, that's a down cycle for them. So it's a good time to refresh, because you're always worried about balancing, hey, am I leaving my company in a lurch by taking a vacation? So, find the good times to do that. But then I also, do find time during the summers as well. And this year actually carved out 3 weeks, which I wish was completely, work-free, but, being a startup founder, sometimes there are just externalities that exist and you need to be on call for. So, you take the time when you're away seriously, but then also you have to balance, and you have to realize that there really is no work-life balance. It's about, focusing now, the time that you're spending now on the thing that you're doing now. Great. Right? So whether that is time away or time on your job. So don't let the personal responsibilities bleed into the job, because that's just a distraction, right? And the killer of attention is distraction, right? Yeah. And context shifts. So I think that's what taking a break really does, is help you to reset.
I think there's another aspect of taking a break. It reinforces to you yourself that you are not that important to the company. Seriously, the company didn't stop while you were gone. Yeah. Yes, you had to work a little bit here or there. I mean, I'm coming off of 1 week, quote unquote, break. I mean, again, no break, as you said, there are things to be taken care of. But I'm working 10% of the time. And I deliberately took some time off, and the phone's on, but you don't read your emails. And it jolts you out of your own superhuman, myth. Complex, complex. That, okay, the company is running without me.
Right, and I think, building on that is that it's important from a company standpoint to realize that it can exist without any single individual. Yeah. Right, and it should. And if your company cannot exist without you, then you've not built your company correctly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great. All right. Let's move to the fourth topic. Ken, you talked about building a muscle, and so you should join a gym. But what kind of gym? Sign up for failure gym. It turns out to do something new requires you to learn. To learn something, you need to fail. And to fail, you need to be willing to take risks. And most people, of course, entrepreneurs are notorious for taking the biggest risks that are out there. But over time, people become sensitive. And what happens is they stop taking risks because, well, it's risky, or it's somebody else's money or whatever. And you become risk averse, which means that you're now more prone to failure because you're not signing up for failure gym. And so an antidote for that I tell people is sign up for failure gym. Do something every day that you know is going to fail. And once you build that muscle, you're now able to, just like when you go to a regular gym, you break a muscle, and that's how you build muscle mass. Same way, build your appetite for discomfort and looking at failure in the face, just so that you're able to get into things that are uncomfortable, learn from them, and actually not fail at those things in the future. So sign up for Failure Gym is an important thing. Also, it keeps your instincts sharp, because once you fail, you're paying attention, and then you learn how to pay attention a little more.
And the fact of life, at the cost of interjecting, the fact of life is we learn more from failure than from success.
Yeah.
And, success, we all say, yeah, I did everything great, nothing to learn, nothing to repeat. Failure forces that introspection period. Of course, we have to get out of that denial and sorrow phase and get to the learning phase of the thing. But it is that, teaching a value of failure, which is very important for us.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what, the Edison quote, right?
Yeah.
I haven't failed. I've just discovered 10,000 ways that don't work.
That don't work.
Yeah. And that's a classic example of a failure gym. A guy who decides he's going to fail 10,000 times because he just needs to succeed once.
Yeah.
And so he's okay to fail that many times. That's important. Finally, number 5 thing that we took away is interesting. Feeding your social flywheel. Now, what is a social flywheel? Just like with your car, your flywheel is actually maintaining energy balance. So a social flywheel is when you have excess energy, you've just got a new high, you've got a new win, you bank that energy by helping somebody else out or being nice to somebody. And then when you're down, you can pull in that energy by asking for help. So feeding your social flywheel, having people that you can rely on, having Sandeep as your CFO, so you can cry on his shoulder, those are good ways of building a social flywheel in a way that you're able to feed it and have it feed you in return. So you're essentially banking your energy, emotional and otherwise, in a way that gives you energy for longer haul. Just the way, you wouldn't leave your car without that.
So I think that energy that you're talking of, or that fuel, it comes from, this is again my personal view, may not apply to everybody. It comes from having a purpose larger than yourself. Frankly, if you started a startup just to have a unicorn or just to make a lot of money, I think you started for the wrong reason. And I bet you that you will have a long trough of sorrow and most likely you will not come out of it.
Yeah.
The sole purpose cannot be just money. There has to be a larger than life purpose, whether you want to change the world, you want to make the world connected, faster connected, world make happier, whatever is your thing. I'll admit to you here, my startup CFO is a quasi nonprofit. The idea came from the actual nonprofit where I used to volunteer. I still volunteer for the last 28 years. We're educating kids and women in rural India and urban India and trying to get them to job opportunities or self-relying opportunities so that their families and their lives become better. And we took that concept and applied right to the concept of accountants having to give up their careers, mostly women. They give up their careers because they have children or they have older sick parents at home, and it's always the woman of the house who ends up sacrificing her career. So what we are doing at my startup CFO, other than keeping clean books and giving peace of mind to CEOs, is also focusing on how many women have we employed. Today 72% of the company is women working from home. We very, very closely monitor that number and we are proud of that number. Even if one woman works and is making her life better, that's great. But now we have 72% of them working from home, and we made the company such that work at home, flexible hours, et cetera, is made possible. So for me personally, coming out of my burnout is, hey, look at all these women, their lives are better, their kids are going to better schools, they have better confidence, they are better teachers to their own kids via osmosis and observation, as opposed to just teaching them A for apple, B for bat. They are living proofs, like one of our employees said, I want to be a mom that my children are proud to call mom. Right? And I'm proud that I'm enabling that thing. That's the, call it social flywheel, call it psychic dividend, call it emotional energy, I don't know, use your words. But I think you need to have one such thing in your startup to keep you going.
I mean, that's an awesome example. I think, the other side is, just for yourself, right? So I do a lot of mentoring and, help with accelerators or startups. So I was actually, just yesterday meeting with an entrepreneur who's his first time doing something in the fintech space. So he asked for some advice, and it's actually very energizing to talk to someone about their startup, right? To get your head out of your company and into theirs. And like, oh yeah, all these other ideas come forth on what they could do. And it really helps to reset the day. And now I come back and say, oh wait, now I'm thinking about 5 new things that we could do at our company based off of having talked and helped somebody else. So I think it goes both ways, right? And giving advice is hugely important, but also it's a refreshing, exercise to help you grow and refresh yourself.
That's wonderful.